Invasion angle.
Welcome back to the Invasion Angle podcast. Today's guest is one of the brilliant brains behind all of the chaos and creativity that fuel one of the fastest growing companies on the independents today, Gremlin House Wrestling. Welcome, Hollywood Sean Gold.
Welcome to the show. And yeah,
Oh, that was nice.
yeah,
That was cute.
I worked on it for a while.
It
yeah.
was cute. Somebody went to Chat GPT and started messing
Yep.
with some things.
Hey, man.
But you're forgetting something. Here's what you're forgetting.
Yeah.
It's not just that I'm some parts of the brains behind Gremlin House, though some people inside would think that I'm not. In reality of things, I'm the fastest rising 42-year-old this year in New Jersey, bar none.
Hell yeah.
Get him a magazine cover right there.
Yeah.
Forbes
That's a
over
perfect headline.
42.
Yeah, and yeah, happy to have you on the show. And yeah, it was cool seeing you in human form too, and getting me at Gremlin House Wrestling. We did the Halloween show, and that was that was fucking awesome. That was for a first show going to that, like you never really know what to expect for any type of wrestling event, but yeah, it was completely sold out. Like great crowd, great matches. Yeah, and I really do enjoy it does stand out, currently in independent wrestling on the East Coast as far as a lot of the shows I've gone to. So
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Obviously, your back doesn't hurt as much as my back hurts.
yeah, a lot of care. I mean, definitely needed your Advil that night.
Dude.
But yeah, yeah. So I mean, kind of starting out, just even before Gremlin and everything. What really got you into wrestling? Kind of digging into the origin story of
Sure.
Sean Gold and
So, yeah. Listen, Sean Gold is a little bit easier to explain. But like I'm 42 years old. I've been watching wrestling for 39 years, right? Since my dad put me in front of the TV and said, fucking watch this. Right. Like, and I think it was more along the lines of just kind of like handing my ADD, but like he didn't think that I definitely know that as of last March when I debuted, he didn't think it was going to be this. And to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't either. Right. So my story is kind of weird because I woke up last November, so literally a year ago, almost to the day. And I said, I want to bring a professional wrestling event to Hamilton, New Jersey. That was it. That was it. Now, as a PTA president in one of the elementary schools, I was like, this would be kind of cool, just on the basis of bringing in money to the schools, right? I thought it'd be a really good idea, and happened to pair it off of somebody that I knew, another president, and they were like, this sounds like a really cool idea. And we walked through the process of talking to independent wrestling promotions in New Jersey and got to the point of talking to Gremlin. And, and I said, let me take care of trying to get us a venue. And you guys they just done were in the process of doing their first show, which was New Jack Slam in Cloister. And I was in the process of basically, going to the middle schools and the high schools and getting the buy-ins from all of them. But then when you brought it to the Board of Education, it didn't really pan out. And it got to a point where I had a conversation with the Catholic school in our area, and they're like, "We'll do it, no questions asked." Right? Like, didn't have to go through like
that's awesome.
the red tape. And when I did that, they were like, he was like, you can be a character. And I was like, nah, I'm good behind the scenes. Because again, right, like I'd been behind the scenes before. One of my best friends is the director of brand partnership for WWE. This photo here is from Vince McMahon's office. So like, yeah, so like, I kind of was cool with that. And I was like, I'm good. I'm old. I'm at the game per se, right? And he kept on peppering. I was like, all right, what do you got in mind? And he's like, dude, I'm thinking faction, I'm thinking theme music, and I'm thinking giving you a mic. And I was like, well, I've never met a mic I don't like. So right, so let's do it. And it's peppered from there. And I think it's for good and bad, it's taken on a life of its own. you know, from working at Gremlin to, getting picked up by Titan Championship Wrestling in New Jersey and doing past 7 shows with them in a face role, not a heel role, but still getting my ass kicked, which I find interesting. Right, to going back to Gremlin and just kind of helping out on the independent scene. It's for the past year, it's taken up a mind of its own. I know that my Instagram could tell you that story, right? My Instagram, my Facebook can tell you that story, right? Like look at just the numbers and the stats, and it's been crazy. And hanging out with Lance on Oahe like last weekend, all weekend, and spending the time with the guys, I think it's really cool. I think from my perspective, you guys saw it. There's a level of fun that I had with it, right? This. It's funny. I don't, and this might be to a detriment of me. I don't take it too seriously. Again, I'm 42 years old. If it ends tomorrow, I'm gonna look back and go, "Yo, this past year, got my ass kicked a bunch of times. I was in a wrestling ring, which people who watch wrestling dream about, right? Just stepping into the ring one time, and I'm getting kendo by Sandman. I'm getting cuttered. I'm getting choke slammed. Like, that's phenomenal. That's great. I got 3 kids, right? Like, I don't really. It's taking on a mind of its own. Again, if it ends tomorrow, my kids saw me do it. I come from a professional athlete background. I was a professional soccer player for 2 years in the early 2000s. I played for the Metro Stars or the Red Bulls now. They never saw any of that stuff. And so them to see something like this, my kids are changing LA Knight's name to Daddy Gold. It's fucking great, dude. It's great. So that's story. It's a long story, but it's it's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like, I don't know, I got those vibes from like Gremlin Wrestling in general. It was like the matches, just kind of in between. It was a lot of fun, and also, just creative overall. I thought everyone just seemed like they were able to do it, like creatively what they wanted to do, and were cooking.
For sure.
But yeah, so now with like Gremlin House, like I already saw like there's 2 events over the weekend, like it, and you were talking about Gloucester City is one, Hamilton. Is there other spots that you've looked at in New Jersey?
So January 10th we're in Gloucester City.
Yeah.
January 11th, right, the day after, we're at Ridgefield Park.
That's right, Ridgefield.
The Mecca. The headline, Journey Fatu versus Austin Aries is the main event. For that show. I think we also dropped Marcus Mathers versus Lance on Oahe.
Cool
for that
match.
show. Yeah, it's a pretty good match. I think Lance and Marcus are going to tear it down. And I think if you go on to the tickets, you have like the card something to change, but we got Notorious and Mimi on there. Obviously, Tommy Invincible, Tarzan. I think Jordan Oliver, Alec Price, and so you have some of the bigger names in independent wrestling on there. I think these are 2 shows that are proof of concept type shows. They're going to be less of a crowd in both shows because you're not going to fit 500 people in the Mecca, and you're not going to fit 500 people in Gloucester. It's just not going to happen. Small, tighter venues, less of a budget, right? Like right now, Zilla's not on the show, right? So it's like they're bigger names, and we're setting up for Hamilton. Hopefully, right? We're setting up for Hamilton in March 21st, which should be a massive show.
Yeah, I like the kind of the roster you've put together as far as Gremlin House. Like, great mixture you have. I mean, you got the only real bloodline kind of running right now. You got Zilla, Journey Fatu, which is great, and then just bringing people. You're saying like Marcus Mathers and people that are working in all different of the. We were always trying to figure out our name between the top companies and the independent companies, kind of like the in between. It's like you have like GCW, like Game Changer Wrestling, like even Evolve. They're working with a lot of these guys are ID'd as well, so it's such a cool mix of all these different companies that I know a lot of us watch, and so that's what I was really kind of excited about with these shows, is seeing those kind of independent circuit dream matches, so to speak.
I think I think that it's funny. And I had this conversation actually about an hour and a half ago because I was yelling at the president of Gremlin, because sometimes we don't see eye to eye. I think which is okay, right? Like I think that I'm very passionate. He's very passionate. I think that we just have different kinds of tastes in things. I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories. He likes to, and I said, like, there's nothing wrong with booking amazing matches and be a great booker, right? And he's like, no, we tell stories in the ring. I said, that's not what I meant. And I think for me, from my perspective, I think that, you know, when talking to him, I said to him today, I was like, what do you see Gremlin as? And he started mentioning the GCWs, the Hogs, in House of Glories and stuff like that. And so, you know, I think if he was to be on this podcast right now, he would say, trying to aspire to be there. I tend to think that Gremlin can take over the Northeast Wrestling Company spot. Maybe not so much traveling to Connecticut and stuff like that, but how they were able to put on big shows. I can see, look, Fourth Rope did a show at Six Flags a week after us, right? You know, I think that when looking at us as general, there's no reason that we can't take that spot.
Yeah. Yeah, we've gone to that before. I know Chris has hit that up a few times.
Yeah, the
wrestling events
Northeast ran there. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that venue's
I love
awesome.
those. Was it Waves and Curls or something? You remember those?
Yeah,
people?
they were awesome.
Bro,
yeah.
they played with the Whitney Houston music. I was
Yeah, got the crowd going. Yeah.
No, I'd agree with what you're saying though. Like I think the Northeast in general is open for some like a new company and one that like kind of stands out, which I kind of because
especially New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey's been kind of stale. You know, I was living out in Georgia the past couple of years and moved from Jersey, moved back up, and I got back and just like it. I don't know, it was a different kind of scene, and like a lot of the companies that were kind of the shows we were going to just weren't hitting as well, and just kind of I don't know, stagnant. I guess you know.
Yeah, Georgia's building up. We got One Fall Factory. One of my very close friends, QT Marshall. Mike and I went to school together, so. We're very close. His mother was at my first daughter's baby naming, so that's how close we are. And so he's starting to grow it more and more. Obviously, after leaving the Nightmare Factory and turning all over to Cody Rhodes, building out One Fall Factory again. He's done an amazing job. And you're like you said, it's tough, right? Because what's tough about New Jersey is. You have ISPW, you have WrestlePro, you have Gremlin, you have Titan, you have blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's tough, right? You know, and again, that's the owner of the owner of against the word the owner of Gremlin and I kind of differ sometimes. Like he just wants me exclusive for Gremlin, and I get it, right? But again, I don't have the experience that like a Zilla Fatu has or a blah 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 has. Right. So anytime that I have an ability for someone to get me in a ring where I can cut a promo, good, bad, heel, face, it doesn't matter. It's going to help me. I get those reps that I need. Also, it's also cool to see the sauce, right? I like the sauce. The sauce is cool. Like somebody telling me like, I'm going to punch you. And I'm like, better not. But in reality, like, no, like take it like this. And it's like, you didn't even hit me.
Yeah.
Like so cool, right? It's like a kid in the candy store. So anytime I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. Like I'm gonna have the ability to do it because there's only a very small, limited time window for me, right? Like I'll tell you right now, I have no aspirations. Like I could be in the WWE tomorrow. I can make one call. I'm a VP of sales and marketing, right? I can for one call, call my boy up. I'm working sales at WWE. I have zero aspirations to do that. I have zero aspirations to become AEW, TNA, NAACP, whoever, right? I don't care. NBA, NHL, I don't care, right? I don't have any aspirations for that. I just want to have fun. I loved, and I'm sure you guys saw, there was nothing better in that moment. I don't know if you remember they caught that moment where I was standing on the ring apron and I had the kendo stick in my hand. I was just like, and hearing those boos, it made everything worthwhile. It's great.
Yeah. I think it's like it's good like getting that as you're saying those reps in, and you know if you do other shows for other companies and stuff like that. And I'm sure too, because it's like, I'm sure there's stuff that you're looking ahead to what you're going to be doing in Gremlin. Like, let me try to practice this. I'm doing this kind of smaller event. Let me try this out, see what kind of hits. Even working, a face somewhere else or a heel here. It's just even cadence. All
Sometimes
there's
it's
so many
cool to
different
work
things that
face.
go into it. Yeah,
It's kind of cool to like work both. I mean, again,
yeah,
people say like your character should carry around to other places, and I get that, but like with other places, I'm able to be a face and like hug people and like work with like so. Like,
yeah.
one of the cool things that I did was over the past arc of this storyline, the 7th storyline that culminated on the 15th this past Saturday at Mount Olympus for Titan, which was the owner turning on me. Even though I was working for him and I was the special guest referee, 1, 2, pulled out of the ring, ass beat type thing. Was some of these special needs kids that come, right? So the special needs kids come, they're hugging you like you're their hero, and they're bringing like pictures that they've colored and it's for Sean Gold. I gave it to my wife and I was like, dude, like there's nothing better than this. Like there's such a rush.
Yeah.
I can't explain it more than there's a rush. And I don't care if there's 3 people. I don't care if there's 3,000 people, right? Like there's something about like getting in there and seeing these people look at you, and some of them hate you, right? They want to kill you. And some of them literally Facebook message me like, do you need me to beat this guy up? I'm like, bro, this is predetermined, right? Don't beat anybody up.
Yeah.
Like my wife walked in the room last week and I was working. She's like, who's Tim? And I was like, oh, Tim, you can't be messaging my wife. This is real life. But like, these are just people that love the sport like you guys.
Yeah. What would you say? Because they have different challenges. What has been more challenging overall, working heel or working face for you, or is it kind of equal and they kind of have their own caveats?
Working heel, everybody hates me.
Yeah.
It's people. I was, it's a lot easier. It's funny. There's a lot easier for people to boo you, like in this society. In society now, it's a lot easier to be hated than be loved, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a PTA president, right? As much as I try to have everybody love me, people hate me. People hate me for the dumbest reasons, right? Why are you charging $3 for a hot dog? Because like tomorrow we have a dance. Like, why are you charging $3 for hot dog? Well, because it's between 6 and 8, and you probably want to eat, but we got to make our money too because it's a business, and we want to give it back to the school. Well, then don't eat.
Yeah.
Right? Like why am I cutting tickets down? Well, because I don't want a fire code problem. I hate you. Right? Like, and so it's a lot easier to have people hate you. I'm more in my element as a heel. That Philadelphia Phillies line was well thought out. Because the Phillies gave me the ammo to do it. And honestly, the show that I did in June in Hamilton, bless you.
Thanks.
No problem. No problem. Being the PTA president, and I shot a promo in, and I was as heel as could be, talking about how the town of Hamilton didn't understand progress. And if you don't believe me, ask about the pre-K project. And the reason why I was speaking about it was because I'm not allowed to speak about it as a PTA president, but as Hollywood Sean Gold, I am. And so there's always truth to what you say. And so I basically said that you guys are idiots and you guys are cheap pieces of garbage. And at the end of the day, maybe you're Trenton.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst thing you could say, probably.
Right. And so I got at that point was 400 people hating my guts. And so I brought it back in October, basically saying last time around we didn't get along, Hamilton. Right? Like let's move past it. People were screaming in the audience, and then I go, shut up, you're adopted. I grab somebody's full Gatorade, I drink half of it, I throw it back at them. Like I like a lot of so I think the difference between the heel and what I like better is there's a lot of crowd play as a heel.
Yeah.
A lot of crowd play. Like even people that know me, I was crowd playing them. Like one of my very, very close friends, his name is Kevin. He's a producer. He actually produced the Braun Strowman show, the eating show. So he was the main producer. Yeah. So he's the main producer of the show. He brought his son. And our kids go to school together. And I looked at him, and he's booing me. His name's Austin. And I looked at him with the deadest face, and I had the kendo stick, and I was like, dude, I wanted your brother here instead of you. And you just saw like the tears coming down his face. And I texted Kevin after. I was like, got him. And like that's the difference. And I think it's really fun to be the heel, but I think there's something rewarding about being a face.
Yeah. I feel like community is so important, especially to like independent wrestling. So like when you're already like a big member of your community and you're involved in things, it's like goes that much extra mile, like just to, you know, portray something, you know, because they expect you. Like I lived in Georgia too, and there was a guy who ran a church and also ran a wrestling company, and he would do sermons at the church, and then on the weekends, like when he wasn't doing church stuff, he would do wrestling shows. So it's just like cool to see this guy get into like a cage and get color and stuff, and then like also he's doing like community outreach and stuff, you know.
I think it's super cool to. I mean, you look at me, you wouldn't think that I would. I'm buttoned up. I'm buttoned up for the most part, right? Like, you're not gonna sorry, the wife. So like, you know, the wife would have said like, if I wasn't, I barely play golf this year. I'm a huge golfer. I'm a 2 handicap, right? A huge golfer, and but I've played way less golf this year, and I always say like when people want to talk about, well, how's your golf game? I've traded in my golf for wrestling, and if I wasn't wrestling, I'd be playing golf, so I'd still be gone for that same amount of time. But like I look at like the craziness of it all, right? Like so Friday night I was at Respect Wrestling in Richfield Park. Saturday I worked Titan. Sunday I was at PWJ. Right. This weekend I'm at GCW. Right. I'm at GCW. I'm not on the show because I want nothing to because I can't. There is nothing I can contribute to a GCW show where it doesn't end in my head being sliced open, and I'm not doing it. Right. I'm not doing it. But I'll help build the ring. I'll do security because I want to be around it. Right. I'm not a mark. Right. I just like I want to help the independent wrestling community because if independent wrestling is thriving, everybody's thriving.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing, you know, better than a good indie shows, honestly. So it's like we were talking about before, you know, Georgia and stuff. And it's like Cutie wrestled a lot of shows down there. And right before he did what he's doing now, he brought like turnbuckle wrestling back for a little bit and did like
he did.
Yeah, and that I went to a few of those, and it was because I was still down there, and it was cool. I down south they definitely have the good setups as far as like the breweries down here. We see that up there, but like as far as like I just see it more often wrestling shows at the breweries down there, and it's a pretty cool setup. But
I think it gives also the south gives you warm weather, right? Yeah, they get a little cold, like. So you have an ability to run outside all the time and more things. Once you get into like this area in this November, like you're not running outside. You're not.
No.
You're not running a show like at the Iron Brewery. Like you're not providing like you might run some midget wrestling around here, which by the way, something you got to get to like midget wrestling, bro.
Oh, we always wanted to.
We're Micro Federation fans. Yeah, we really want to. They're like impossible. Any of the Micro Fed guys to even get a hold of though, because I think Discovery Channel has them. Yeah, their contracts. They won't
because the phone's on the third shelf and they can't get it.
Yeah.
But more importantly, they're like, oh, I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah. Because you don't see a lot of crossover with it because there is like Micro Federation is a big one. They got Discovery Channel show they had set up, but like, you would think you'd be seeing some of them cross over with other wrestling companies, and you just really don't see it. I feel like they're very. I don't know who owns it, but I want
to have like two of them on a pre-show and have a little match. Oh no!
WWE used to do that. They had a lot. Yeah, they had a lot of those matches back then, and you'd also just see like
AAA. AAA's got that. That Microman.
Yep, he's done lots of GCW too. Yeah, and it's Yeah, I
Even
think
before
it's
him, his father,
it's
Kimanito, who you might
Yeah.
remember, there's like the drop kick, like GIF, where he's just getting kicked right out of the ring. Pretty sick.
That's
yeah.
what's seeing him with Owas. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, micro wrestlers, they're over wrestling like history are important, like subgenre of it. That's always been great to add.
they
Yeah,
would
I don't know why they're closed off right now.
they would kill me in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What happened?
Yeah.
I got beat up by a 3'7" guy. That's what happened.
yeah. You got to watch out for Psycho. He's one of the. I'd say he's probably the type
Yeah.
top micro wrestlers. But yeah, I don't know. I just think they're just in like whoever runs those companies has like a super rough contract on them because they travel a lot too. Like I think Pigeon Forge, Tennessee is their home base, but they have like they send them out with like multiple shows with like split the roster in the half and stuff. So I'm just like
some wrestling trend at the what it's called. It's right next to Trenton Thunder Stadium. They do shows there. And then I know the big one just happened in Alpine. Or it's happening in Alpine maybe this next week or something.
Yeah, I know one company always runs at like some nightclub in Neptune all the time.
Yeah.
I forget who it is though.
Yeah. So I mean, we've talked a lot of companies in Jersey, and just the state of wrestling now. A big thing is obviously like invasion angles, as our name kind of goes, but crossover events. From like the top companies now to like down to the indie. Like we just saw, throughout the summer, the GCW versus JC, the Juggalo Championship Wrestling going on. And,
I think it's tough.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it. I think it's tough. There's a lot of semantics and politics in place, right? Like I try to stay in politics, right? From this basis. There have been times I brought it up to the president, right? And I've been like, yeah, I think it'd be really cool. But like even talking to other presidents, right? And who have done collab shows with other people. One of the things that they've seen is who wins, who loses, who gets over, who gets over. I think the smartest way of doing things, which doesn't always happen, is collab a show like do 8 matches. 4 matches is one company and 4 matches is another company. Right? Because that way your talent is wrestling your talent. Right. And so it's a collab show it's like an individual show within a collab show. That's the safest way of doing it. The other ways of doing it, there's just a who wins, who loses. I'll be honest with you, like I told you guys in the beginning, I'll say shit that people won't say. I think that TNA has gotten the eyes that it needs, right? But always at what cost, right? A lot of people go back and say that the AEW TNA partnership was shit. Okay, I can see where everybody's coming from with that, right? From the basis of that, but that opened the forbidden door. That opened the ability for it to happen with WWE. And yes, that's a night and day difference. But to be honest, have you seen a TNA wrestler holding a WWE title? No. No.
I guess if they and the only way they allowed that to happen for I guess it was like a couple of weeks was allowing the Hardys to have the NXT titles, but they're TNA right now, but they're WWE classic guys. So I think that's the only scenario. And for like a week and a half too. They just like had to win it to like to be double champs for like a week or two, and then just to drop them on a random show. Yeah, I thought they were good.
You look at and I'm going to put New Japan in this too, right? Because I used to be a huge New Japan fan, and I'm going to the show in February, right, at the Cure Arena. Obviously, I was going to go. Made a couple calls. I was like, "Yeah, I want to go." They're like, "Go, come." It was kind of in a broken English, but they come and look at in reality, they're feeder systems to AEW and WWE. Joe Hendry, right, signing with WWE. The only time that's not going to be the reverse is you're not going to see. Nick Nemeth, obviously did his Dolph Ziggler character on Monday, but Nick's not coming back.
No. Yeah.
First off, Nick makes a ton of money controlling his own schedule. Cardona would come back just based on the fact that his wife's there. But if his wife was there, he would come back. And so, it's going to be hard to replace this system, essentially, of just like a top TNA talent is inevitably going to go there. And so from a partnership perspective, the invasion perspective, I love a good invasion, right? I always love a good invasion. But it has to work out on both sides. I think a lot of times it works out for the WWE's advantage.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like, that's kind of, both, the tribal stuff, WWE and AEW people like talk shit either end on that, but it's like they're doing the same thing. I mean, they're really just farm systems, and NJPW, AAA, CMLL, TNA, all these companies, they're being promised more eyes on you. Yeah, we're kind of in control of booking. We're gonna, kind of come out on top, but you're gonna be left with a newer audience. We're giving you some of our audience, basically.
And then we're gonna take your best talent.
Your best talent. It's the tryouts, basically.
I'm gonna take your best talent, and I'm gonna sign them, and then you're gonna lose that audience.
Yeah.
Because you don't have proper superstars and proper storylines, and we've taken them. It's pretty much like a movie where someone, I just saw this in a movie. So basically, somebody owed $1 million. They signed the contract. The guy gave him $1 million. And then that same guy that gave them $1 million brought 5 thugs in to beat the crap out of the guy. He goes, okay, now I want the $1 million back. And he gets the $1 million and not get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's like, that's pretty much this.
Yeah, that's what I saw, like, as some respect, because like, I don't know the inside info of it all, but just from the outside, like Brett Lauderdale, he was in talks a lot with like WWE, like on and off for kind of years at this point. And I've always thought that's kind of like why he's kind of reluctant, because he, doesn't want to kind of have the same thing happen that he's watching happen around him, and he's happier running GCW the way he likes running it,
Well, he is, but also at the same time. So I was at the shows this summer. I worked the shows for SummerSlam weekend. I picked up the glass. I moved the people. And who was there? Nick Khan.
Yeah.
And Natty Neidhart. Right? And so they were there. So part of me thinks that parts of GCW or like the old school ECW, you think they're running by themselves, but they're running by themselves with the empire over their heads.
Yeah, because they had all the WWE ID matches and stuff like that. And
I mean, just look at the math. Just look at the math alone, right? So let's just look at math. Strict math here, guys. Cardona, and the list goes down the line. Barry Bronson, and then there are 75 to 100 people in the audience. How you making money?
Yeah.
Like, well, we're coming out in the red, not the black. How are you affording to stay open?
Yeah. No, I agree. And then and you do see some of the, like, because they were doing the blood sport crossovers, all that. So you kind of saw this relationship building a little bit, but also GCW wrestlers aren't going to go straight into NXT or anything like that. They kind of, their practice runs in TNA, and we've seen like Masha Slamovich and stuff like that. And so we've seen that, GCW characters cross over with NXT characters and stuff through TNA. And so it kind of seems like they're kind of in that, farm system anyway. It's like AAA, AA, and
think of this
Jersey
weekend.
is single A. Yeah.
This weekend, American Dream All, GCW, Jordan Oliver, Alec Price, and Marcus Mathers versus somebody, right? Those 3 guys, I think, put the bet on. I'll try to get the card up. Those 3 guys put on the best match of SummerSlam weekend against Swipe Right and somebody else in the ID show.
Yeah.
Such a good match. I told that to Alec Price too. And he's like, when he first introduced himself to me at Gremlin, and I was like, dude, I know who you are. And he goes, how do you know who I am? And I was like, bro, your match was sick.
Yeah. Dude, GCW's produced so much great talent over the past 5-6 years. It's really great to watch, and it's cool with Jordan Oliver because, like, we always like to kind of talk. I look at it as like, regular sports too, like football or anything, like free agents, where they're going to go. It's always kind of that exciting thing. And, we were watching it a lot when it was Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver. Nick Wayne was like, I think he started, was he like 16 his first match?
Something like
that. Or even younger, I think he might have done one of their smaller events, even younger possibly. But they were tag team champions, and it was just like they both seemed bound for AEW. But like Nick Wayne ended up going, and then for me, I was just like maybe I was like Jordan Oliver, his route's more WWE set, but it's just same with Marcus Mathers, so it's interesting.
Yeah, and Jordan's a really good, great guy. Jordan, I bring him a bunch of photos all the time. I think he's a really good guy.
Yeah,
I mean, but you look at the card, like you have like Bear Dozer, you have Bronson, and Tremont versus Tommy Dreamer and Rhino. You have Maki Achoa versus Zeta Steel. Like Gringo Loco, Master Dorado, Jim Duggan's there, Killer Cross is there, Cardona's there, Effie's there. Obviously, you have Alec and so you look at all these higher name people and you're like, well, they're only putting 75 to 100 people at the thing. How are they making money?
Yeah,
gotta come from somewhere.
No, definitely. And I don't know. I've always said I would love to see GCW on Sci-Fi on Wednesdays or something like that with WWE. I think it'd be sick. I mean, because it's crazy because now because a lot of those guys are working with Evolve now too. So yeah, it's definitely exciting and cool to see. And I don't know. I'm and Saturday that's 2 p.m. right? Which I thought was pretty cool because I was thinking about going to that, and
it's hold on, yeah, I think it's 2 p.m.
Yeah, there's like a convention I think or something beforehand.
So there's Fan Slam beforehand, and then it's like 2 p.m. The reason why it's a 2 p.m. show is everybody goes to the AEW event afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, in Newark, it's right. It's an open, yeah. And then
you know what else they're doing that's pretty awesome? Real quick, it's not really wrestling related, but it's like Ultraman Live, and they have like this giant Power Ranger looking thing, and it fights like a kaiju. That's happening in American Dream the same day. Pretty wild,
dude. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I usually take my oldest, which is she's 9 years old. They're usually the ones that are in the front row off left of me, but my daughter's going to see the Wicked whatever, and Wicked 2 with a bunch of people, and somebody I was going to take my son. I was supposed to take my son, and I was like, no, I can't do that. I got to leave him home with the babysitter because it's one thing to take it to like pre stuff, right? Getting everything ready, the sauce, if you will, with talent meetings and stuff. It's another thing to be doing all those things and then like in a mall. Like I can't just like turn around and be gone. Like not a chance.
Yeah, especially that gigantic place.
Yeah.
But what are some companies though that because you've worked with a few outside of Gremlin? Is there some that you've like eyed or like that would be really cool to do? Like we were talking about slightly your friends at Cutie, like doing a random show down somewhere in Georgia or something like that, or just like
I would love to be down with QT. I would love to. It's funny. Everybody has their thing, right? So I'm trying to think of the best way to say this because I'm not like let's think of the best way to say this type person. I usually just say it. But one of the things is there's an allegiance to things that I don't have. I try to make this understandable, right? Again, I don't care, right? Like I'm just having fun. 42 years old, just having fun. But if there was a gun to my head, dude, I would love to do something in England, like London, right? Love to go to. I'm friends with Drew Parker. I'd love to do something in London. I would love to do something in Florida. I'm doing something where again I got my ass kicked in Titan. And they wrote me off, which is good because I can't be at their show on the 24th of January. And I said in my promo, which is going to drop soon at some point, kind of like my response to getting my ass kicked type thing. And I basically was like, I'm going to go down to Orlando and I'm going to learn some things. And I'm going to come back and you're not going to know when and you're not going to know where. And basically, I'm going to Disney World, right? But what's also in Orlando is the Performance Center. And so I want people to think like, what the fuck is he doing down there? And I might even take it a step further. And again, I've never been to the Performance Center. I don't know if there's security to get like to the parking lot. I just don't want to go in. I was the parking lot. If there's security to get on the parking lot, but if there's not in the parking lot, I can shoot a video outside and go, time to learn. And what? But in reality, that's how I
Yeah.
that's how I got to Titan in the first place, or just got basically I traveled around to places in from end of June to middle of August. Happened to be going to shows, right? But I cut a promo each place I went. I was in production at TNA. I was at the show in Long Island in production. And people were messaging, like taking photos of me, like, I see you. Why are you there? Because like I'm just Sean. I'm just Sean. How did Sean? Who the fuck is Sean? And I was in production in TNA, standing next to the dude from Shawn Michaels #2. Fucking just talking to him, right? Like,
Yeah.
And so like, I've bounced around doing these things. Like eventually I should up at the Titan, but I think that going down to do things with QT would be really cool. I love to. I think when you've made it is when someone says, "Do you want a table at the big event or like WrestleCade?"
Yeah.
I think that's when you've kind of made it, even if it's like a Z-list wrestler. I find that interesting. Like I have a couple of guy friends who have tables at the at Fan Slam this weekend.
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid, right? Because I probably could just buy one for $200. Not a big deal. But I think that like when you get that graphic, so I think that that's cool. I'd love to do something with was it ACW, Awesome Championship Wrestling.
Mhm.
I'd love to do that. That's in Poughkeepsie. That I think that's a place where you've kind of made it, but at the same time, my character can go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Because all I am is like I'm not a wrestler, right? I'm not gonna go in the ring and wrestle. I'm not gonna do flippy fly shit. But if you have a wrestler that needs a mic, needs a mouthpiece, I can mouthpiece it good. I can mouthpiece it bad. I can trash your town. I can praise the people. I can make people happy by hugging them. I can sign autographs. So it doesn't really matter where that is. I don't really care who's it for. This allegiance with these companies and this, you shouldn't work at this company because this person's bad. This person killed that person. And I don't care, dude. I really don't care. I'm Sean, and I'm again. I've done a lot of business in my life, so I know good business, and I'm just having fun with my kids. It's really what it's about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, your business background, working marketing, all these jobs and stuff, probably made it easier and being at 42 now, made it easier than like some people that like come up into wrestling like very young, really no life experience and stuff like that, and definitely don't know how what the conversations they're really having or when they're getting kind of screwed over a bit. I'm sure you can kind of like see that from a mile away.
Yeah, even from a sponsorship perspective, right? So like when people do flyering, one of the things that I ask for if I'm helping sponsors is take a picture of the place. Why? Because I'm gonna put it in a spreadsheet, I'm gonna develop my cadence for it, and I'm gonna call just my sales background. And then I have a better conversation. Hey, I know that you have a poster up in our room and thing. We love to talk about sponsoring a match, right? Those cadences are a lot easier in Hamilton because I know, like we said, everybody, I don't say everybody knows me. There's 17 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and 3 high schools. It's massive. But people know, for the most part, people know me. Some people know me as PTA president. Some people know me as Mackenzie's dad. Some people know me as Sean the asshole. It's cool. Some people know me as I saw you in the ring. Some people know me as, are you a professional wrestler? And I say, no, I'm not a professional wrestler. I'm just talent, right? Like I'll do whatever. You want me to get hit by kendo sticks? I will. I'll take it to a point, and I'll do it. And I think it's really fun to do this. I mean, guys, if you had the opportunity, if you've ever had the opportunity to just rub your feet respectfully on the apron, then get through those ropes and look around and jump on the middle rope, not the top because I can't do that shit, but the middle rope.
Yeah.
It's just something that comes over you. So it doesn't matter where that is. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and you're naming places that you'd love to go to before, and like, because it's interesting too. Like, I've always thought like England, seeing like a show in Japan, Mexico, just like the vibes of those crowds and like how they kind of react to things a little differently and just kind of just the little nuances and like, yeah, just as like a
Oh
fan
my
and shit
God,
generally, I want
Mexico
to
would be
just,
so
yeah,
cool. Mexico would be so cool if I had an out. So if like, right, like doing a show in Mexico would be so cool if I knew that I could get home alive.
yeah,
Right. Be right
yeah,
because I would come in with a Donald Trump character.
yeah. And
Right.
that would work
Very
well.
much
Yeah,
like I'm bringing ice to you.
yeah,
But I know that it's super dangerous there now. Extremely dangerous.
yeah. It's
And
been
I don't
crazy
know.
there. There's been some riots and stuff, and yeah,
I don't know if I would survive that.
yeah. MJF was like touching on that, you know, like
Yeah,
the kind
and
of
I'm
Trump
sure
character. Yeah,
I'm sure he kind of is even like Max is Max, right?
yeah,
And Max doesn't hold back. Like what you see from Max is who Max is, right? Like I don't know. You know how people say like your character is turned up to 10. No, that's just him. It's
yeah.
always been him. Um, I've had the fortune enough to run into him a few times, not full conversations or anything, but like kind of hear him backstage. He sounds the exact same way. I mean, he's a little bit more not yelling as much, but like this is that dude.
Yeah. And also, you know, I thought he did a great job in Happy Gilmore too.
Oh, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Did he not?
I thought he did. I thought he did a great job, dude. It would have been interesting to
What-
see him on the set too, like taking like a, you know, because he had to, you know, he can't be the, you know, the one running the show in that situation
Yeah.
where it's like wrestling. So I'm always interested to like when wrestlers, you know, do that crossover and stuff like that to like see them sit back and kind of be like, you know, learning again. It'd be
I think
interesting to
it's
see
also
them in that. Yeah.
I think it's also me, right? Because again, being doing the things I've done in my life, I tend to do what I'm told now, like from a wrestling perspective, right? Like if they want me to do something, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm not I'm not like Zilla Fatu, right? I can't be like, nah, Oos, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It's like he can say that all day, but like Sean can't say that. Sean gonna be like, yes, sir. like,
Yeah.
because again, it could be over in a second. Right. Like
Yeah.
the only thing I won't do is like someone's like, I will power bomb you. Like even in the ring when when you guys were there and I was, towards the end, that's when I got, kendoed and I'm laying in the ring with Naeem and we're laying in the ring together and I kind of crawl to him and I'm like, hey, he's like, hey, I'm like, you got to do something. And he's like, what? I was like, we got to make this crowd pop, do something. They're quiet. I was like, turn on me. Let's fucking go. And like, he's like, I'm gonna do a flying, blah, blah, blah. Like, whoa, bro. And this is like laying on the ground. I'm like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, just take it. I'm like, just take what? What are you saying right now? Like in my mind, I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to look at it. He's like, just take the cutter. You will look good. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it went off without a hitch, but like, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
For the most part, as long as it doesn't hurt me. Like,
Yeah.
or like get myself again, GCW, very scary. Where like I can't go
Yeah.
into GCW as a manager and be like, and Brett could be like, oh, I want you to do this because I know inevitably it might be fine today. But if I continue the storyline, inevitably the manager dies.
Yeah. That's the end.
And I like that's a pizza grater, that's a light tube.
Yeah,
like,
some light tubes. Yep.
something is going to happen where they're going to be like, I need you to do this. And like Cardona is going to put his arms on me. He's going to be like, you remember those times in Disney we drank together? And I'm like, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Like,
What about Epcot, man?
dude,
Yeah.
first time I ever met him was in Epcot.
That's fun.
Great place.
Drinking around the world. He was drinking around the world, and Chelsea was there. And I was hanging out with Pete Dunne. They're everywhere. If you just hang out in Epcot, like you don't need
probably see Cardona all the time. Yeah,
you don't need a fan slam to go meet wrestlers. You can just hang out with them in Epcot.
So you saw him at his height of enjoyment too. So it's probably a good time to run into Cardona.
So drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably did all the Star Wars stuff the day before, so he was pumped. Do the Epcot
Yeah,
walk.
he's riding a high.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you hear the dirt sheets thing? I saw like pumping like out today about Cardona. It was saying that during his match on SmackDown on Friday that he shit himself in the ring. That's what they.
No way.
Yeah, they said during like a powerbomb spot or something. But like I was just you never know with that shit though, Dirt.
I mean,
Like
it's
who
possible.
fucking knows?
I
Yeah, it
had
always
to-
is. You know,
I had
it's
to pee so bad this Saturday, but I was getting my ass kicked, and I'm like, I don't want to piss myself. I can't piss myself. I can't piss myself. That's all I was thinking about, and it's
yeah.
very pot. It's very.
You hear all
possible.
those stories, you know what I mean? Even behind like they're
Oh well,
doing
Charlotte
like the
did. Charlotte peed herself.
yeah. I think you know what the clip I'm talking about, where it
Unreal,
was like the
yeah.
behind the scenes,
Yeah.
Unreal. Yeah, and CM Punk obviously his was more famous than others, his
Yeah.
shitting in the ring story. But he said that happened to him besides the famous antibiotic day or whatever where he did it. But yeah, no, I know a few of them have. I mean, it has to happen at some point, you know. But yeah, I don't know who even gets that info. I guess the guy that cleans the
A lot
underwear
of-
in the
Yeah.
back. Yeah, got slipped 100.
I spent a lot of time with on Sunday
Yeah.
with Malcolm. So I spent a good 3 hours just Malcolm and I in the back room. And he was just telling me, he's like, some of these stories is funny because it's crazy. So you see, like, you're right, the kind of stories come out, dirt sheet stories come out. Like he's like, oh, somebody said Sean Ross Sapp is here. So people are fucking Malcolm is fucking. And he's like, you're here? I'm downstairs where we are. And he's like, downstairs where? I'm in Kentucky. And it was writes like that. It's like one person can pick up a story and go, Sean Ross Sapp is here. Oh, he's
Yeah. Sean Ross Sapp probably put that story out.
Yeah, I mean, it can hurt, but it can also help. I think certain storylines, you know, that we have social media now to put out like news or info in any kind of way.
I put out a thing before Busted Open said it. I said that, and it didn't happen, obviously, but I was like, on Friday, Zack Ryder debuted, and on Monday, Matt Cardona should debut. I said it's like that, but in reality, it happened how John Cena did it. So don't tell me that John Cena doesn't have creative control of this, because he did the pipe bomb where he said, hi, Matt Cardona, hi, Nick Nemeth. All of a sudden, Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler show up.
Yeah, he and I think too, just like because I think that there's a couple other mystery opponents left, and I was trying to think.
Oh no,
about
I don't think
No,
so.
I think
that's
it's done.
everything.
Yeah.
There's no more.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Listen,
like that aspect of it.
ultimately,
Honestly,
we know the end result of this.
yeah,
Like, it's Gunther. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The only question I have now is, does Dom beat him? So I don't like the final match to see who wrestles Cena is at Survivor Series, right?
yeah,
Right?
That'll
I
be
think
the
so,
yeah.
So I can see a scenario by which Dom wins clean, right? Not clean, well, dirty. Or does Gunther come out and mess it up too and start that storyline? Because remember, John Cena is not on Raw. John Cena is not on SmackDown. John Cena has social media to continue the storyline. But Gunther's the one. Gunther should beat him. My guess is, if you have to do it the right way, how you design a match, Gunther makes him go to sleep because then John Cena never gave up.
Yeah.
That's his whole moniker.
I think it'd be the way to go out for him, and he's continued because they're obviously doing like tons of press leading to War Games in a following weekend after this one, and he's definitely just been foreshadowing the whole Gunther like win and stuff too, just saying how he needs to pass it on to like the younger wrestlers and have them continue at a high level. I'm not really the biggest fan of like how they did the booking as far as like I would have preferred John Cena to have done the Dom IC title match on Raw. You know what I mean? His last Raw in Madison Square Garden, you do that match, and then Cena is on the same team as Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Cody, and because Brock Lesnar comes out and whooped everyone's ass, and then who's their fifth partner? Cena comes out, and in that match he can because he was squashed by Brock Lesnar. Like, for what reason? There was no payoff to that storyline,
You could do a very small match in the Rumble, and in the War Games, he doesn't have to get crazy with it. right?
Yeah.
Guys, he doesn't have to get crazy with it. You know, he could be the fifth person, right? So he comes in fifth, then it could start. The match could start officially, and you know, just kind of stay away from weapons, right? Because he doesn't want to get hurt. Stay with Brock because Brock will protect him for the most part, and stay around them. And I think I think you get a payoff where that's concerned. You would have a payoff. You're never going to have a payoff with anymore with Rock and Cena.
That's why it was so weird. So it's just like, you know, if you they're gonna be a payoff, then you should have made it a match like the Logan Paul and the Cody match that were fantastic matches.
I love me some Logan Paul.
Yeah. So yeah, great matches. So I thought we were gonna get like one final clinic of these guys because Lesnar and Cena have had tons of fantastic matches that weren't squashes in the past. So like, yeah, it was just odd to me. It's just like make his last appearance at MSG an IC title match with Dom, you know, and then have Cena come back out to kind of save the day when Brock's whooping everyone's ass. And yeah, so I don't know. That's definitely like odd way to go about it towards the end.
This is where I think, and tell me if I'm wrong here. I think we have to look at what John Cena has said. John Cena is constantly saying, I want to put over younger talent. NXT versus WWE wrestlers on his show, essentially his show. And so maybe it is that situation of it should be expected that Dom's going to be there so he can put over Dom. When you look at Brock versus John Cena, what was the reason behind it? I think it's the same conversation we all could have next mid-March or end of March next, not this one coming up, the following, when we all have the same conversation as to why is Stone Cold wrestling The Rock and why is The Undertaker back wrestling Bret Hart, right?
Yeah.
Because Saudi wanted it.
Yeah, and it's going to change everything. Yeah.
ESPN, like I listen, again, the sources I have, and I obviously never will relay any kind of sources or anything like that. But I will say, I thought in my mind, this is a perfect time for Sami Zayn to win the title there, because Brett, and I know that obviously Saudi is Royal Rumble this year too, right? But I would have better way if Sami Zayn wins the heavyweight title next year. But I think there's bigger plans than that.
Yeah, I think so too. And like a lot of the things too, like they the past couple of years, as like, you know, when Vince started like the Saudi relationship, like they started like showing, you know, WWE wrestling like on their channels, but they were like starting out with like the Ruthless Aggression era. Like they were watching, you know, so like it's kind of like that thing where you're like, you know, someone on the moon gets radio frequencies, like, you know, whatever months later, whatever it is, like from someone here. So it's just kind of like funny. They're in the past, but because of that, they want all those guys. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so Saudi's got even fucking Tom Brady out of retirement. I mean, your guy, yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's my boy, TB.
Yeah. TB, and he's getting paid over, what is it? It's over $100 million to do flag football. Yeah, flag football. And I'm amazed the NFL even has to sit there and allow Christian McCaffrey and people like that to do that, especially Christian McCaffrey, because like a great player, always worried if he's, you know, going to get an injury again or anything. So it's just like, it's just crazy to me, like the sway they have. I mean, it's obviously the money too. I mean, they can. So that's why, like with Cena, I agree with that. Like we could have Cena and Brock Lesnar, you know, in a tag title match against Cena against Rock and Stone Cold. yeah. Any of them. Yeah. But I think, who do you think out of the 50 plus crowd is that's one of the top guys right now? If you had to say, I mean, Jericho, obviously, who we can kind of get into
Chris
him as
is
well,
great.
His future. Yeah.
Chris is great, right? I can't wait till he debuts at Royal Rumble. Just saying.
100%.
Right. I think Chris is amazing with his character development. I don't believe he can go so much in the ring as much anymore, but I believe he can do just enough. I think his character development. Look, AJ is getting up there. Right. I think AJ is in her late 40s. Right.
Yeah.
I think from a 50 plus crowd perspective, I think that you know what's crazy, and I'm still waiting on this, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen. And he's not 50, but he's also not wrestling. Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
I just keep waiting.
Dude, and he's still so like he's ring ready as far as like shape. Like he looks so great. Like when you see him like standing next to like when he first, came on as a GM, like you see him standing next to Roman, and it's just like Roman doesn't look that giant next to him, and it's like he, he didn't have like he was doing his thing in NWA and then kind of just faded out. Every company kind of wanted to work with him, and WWE gave him the GM spot. So like, and obviously it's a good spot to have, on the top company. But yeah, I've been waiting for that too. Even I mean, I know everyone.
Thought he was going to wrestle Randy Orton.
Yeah, I mean, you could even have a GM versus GM match at a Survivor Series, which I've always, I've
let's do it. And here's the thing, looking at the 40 over almost 50 people, 50 plus
yeah,
people. You have people like obviously R-Truth, right? Ron Killings is still killing it. He
yeah.
can still do anything, which, by the way, can we talk about this? No one's talking about this right now. Why hasn't anybody brought this up? Did Nick Aldis not say he was in the tournament?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
He brought his balls to Nick
Yeah.
Aldis, and he goes, "Truth, you're already in the tournament." He's like, "I don't care. Hold my balls."
Well, that's right. You're right.
He's already in the tournament, yet he's now not in the tournament. So, like, now we're booking Vince McMahon 2016, where you think we're stupid people and forget about conversations that happen.
Yeah, they forgot about it. It's fine. Yeah, I know. It's and that's like crazy too, because he obviously should be in that tournament if you're thinking like John Cena's past and stuff like that.
Carmelo Hayes did not belong to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
At all. Javon Evans did not belong in the tournament. No disrespect. They could have been on the card. You could have had Carmelo versus Javon Evans at Saturday night. You had R-Truth versus The Miz.
Yeah. And definitely The Miz should have been it. And then also you have like, and I like the TNA Legend thing of doing like Cardona and, Ziggler. And you also had the Hardy Boys. I would have loved to see Jeff Hardy come out and have a match again. Because it's great because you have, current Raw roster against, really WWE legends. And that's why it's cool.
Where's Baron Corbin? Where's Baron Corbin in that situation? Like, like Bishop Dyer, and I think that, and Bishop, when I was on Busted Open, he was like, "I'm ready to go. Pick me. Let's go."
It would have been great, and like and those guys don't mind that they have to do the job. It's just like an awesome, and the fans don't care either. Because at the end of the day, like from fans' perspectives, like doing the job and all that, like it really just it depends on the match, and the way I view wrestling, it's like it's like the kayfabe power, is what all these wrestlers have, and obviously, like they lose to someone that's like not that good, like you do change your perspective, especially the younger the crowd, like. Remember being a kid and like someone that's unbeatable, like loses to someone that's it's just some bad booking or something, and it legitimately will ruin that character for you, which is crazy. So
I think that's one of the issues that I've seen recently. I won't say recently, but and correct me if I'm wrong here. So Kevin Owens is the lovable loser that has run its course, and not maybe so much now with his injury, but how many times did Kevin Owens get a heavyweight title match? Like Roman all through COVID, and then Cody, and no one ever pulled the trigger on him.
Yeah, he kind of had the role that Baron Corbin had for a while, in 2016, 2017, or 2017, 18, 20. Yeah.
And you know who reminds me of that? Yeah. Who reminds me of Kevin Owens now? He's in the War Games match.
Is Bronson in that match?
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. Oh,
Drew McIntyre. Yep. No, he has taken that spot. Yeah, I would say Drew has, and like because Baron Corbin did. Yeah.
What else can Drew do? He's great on the mic. He looks the part. He wrestles the part. And part of me. He just signed a brand new deal. I think it's like a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
There's real contract disputes he had, and it's crazy because part of me is like, dude, give him the win. But then part of me is like, dude, he's always in the main event, so like he's making main event money.
Yeah, and now too, like I know a lot of their like the pay they get, like their salary, a lot of it doesn't matter now. If you're in the main event, you don't get higher percentages. You don't get like stuff as far as the gate. So it's just, Yeah, so I think it was CM Punk talking about it in a recent interview, where he's just like, so people don't really wrestlers, when I was coming up, like you want to fight for the main event, you want to fight for these things because it's more pay and like obviously respect and everything else, but like in more creative control and stuff like that. But now there just isn't that. No matter what, whether you're on the bottom of the card, wherever you are, you're getting the same amount of money. But of course,
you make your money on merch.
Yeah.
Right. You still make your percentages of merch. Which, by the way, if you guys saw at the show, there was a lot of people wearing Empire t-shirts. Let's be clear here. Because I'm not over. But yeah, clearly. But right, I don't think they care as much. I think they're just happy for the gate and happy to be on the card. And there is that level of, right, like you said, thinking about Drew, like there is that level of, so I'm not in the main event or I am the main event. I'm still getting main event money. Do I care?
Yeah. And he's had his title wins too. Yeah. But I think sometimes though, like as you're saying with like Kevin Owens stuff, like you do have to pull that trigger at some point because then they don't crowds will stop buying it over a while if you see so many title losses where it's just like, okay, this is like they become that stepping stone character, where it's just like, all right, whoever is starting a new title run, they're going to face, do a program a month or two with this person. Like, oh, he's facing Kevin Owens again. So they'll probably do a couple of matches and obviously he'll get over on him. It's just kind of like what every champion does. Yeah, I've seen that. I complain a lot in like AEW, the women's division. It was always like very up until kind of Tony, like, flipped things around. Like it was just very, formulaic as far as just like, okay, these are the vets we're going to get. They're going to
Nyla Rose every first defense.
Yeah. Yep. If you win the title, you get Nyla Rose first off. And then
that's so funny you said that because that's hilarious because I was at the first Dynamite, right, in Washington, D.C. I used to go up and down the East. There was not I don't think so. The first 6 months of Dynamite, if it was on the East Coast, I don't think I missed a show. I think there was one Baltimore show I missed. That's because I have friends that were there, and it was like easy to get tickets because I knew people, and I never asked for any favors, but they always were like, "You want to come?" I'm like, "Sure." And I was at the first show, and I swear to God, Nyla Rose, right, versus Ryu, and I thought Nyla was going to destroy her.
Yeah.
And then we come to find out that she's exactly the Kevin Owens of that's the
show. Yeah. So when I say we were the kind of similar when like Dynamite first came out. Like we were seeing a lot of the shows along the East Coast. Like we went to I think that
Boston
second and Philly.
Third.
Yeah, we went to the second and third. Yeah, Boston and Philly, and then obviously anything popped in Newark, and
it popped in Newark, Boston, Philly,
Atlantic City.
I was at the Boardwalk Hall show with Keith, and I think that I've been on podcasts before, and one of the questions they'd always ask me was, "What happened?" Right? Like really, what happened? And because you were going 1.2 million, 1.3 million viewers to get out 400,000, 500,000, and everybody's like, "It must have been Punk." Like it was, Punk. No, what I think it had to do with was in the beginning of AEW, it was so cool. Like you never knew who was going to show up. It was the start of the NWO Monday Night Wars, right? It was you literally had no idea. You closed the lights and Aleister Black popped up. You closed the lights and William Regal was there, or Arn Anderson, or whatever the case may be. And that's what was so cool about it. You couldn't miss a show. I would say for the good first 3 years, I didn't miss a Dynamite. Like there was it. Like it was like, I was never missing. I was never missing. I can tell you, because yesterday was Wednesday, I can tell you easily that I went back to watch the Obafemi Ricky Saints promo yesterday night when I got home from an expo in Atlantic City before I even turned on Dynamite. And then I watched 3 matches, and again, full gear's coming up. You should be like super excited. I'm not. Like it's the element of surprise is over. And again, like one of the things up there, what I had there, actually it's over there now, is my AEW hat, right? From the first show. Like, I'm still an AEW fan. I'm just not a diehard anymore.
Yeah. I mean, my thing with AEW is like I felt like like you're saying, like when their ratings kind of went down and stuff, like people say CM Punk, but it happened like before that. Like for me, is like they do that huge gate in London, and then I feel like right after that, Tony just took like the foot off the gas and just got very, very complacent overall. And like obviously, then like he had the Adam Cole injury because him and MJF were cooking. That was probably one of the best tag teams I've seen in the past few years. And it's funny because they didn't have tons of matches together, but like their segments and everything was just like they're nothing better, And
Kangaroo
I just feel like there,
Yeah.
and then he just kept talking about for like they were just doing promos in the show for like over a month or so, just like look at the gate we had here, like this is a record. And it's just like no, it's just like that's awesome, but like move forward. You know what I mean? I just felt like very, very complacent, and it was just like no, this is where you really like go for the jugular of WWE and like really push, and then after that, the bloodline went even crazier, and then it was just, I think it was just
and it was Cody, and Cody left,
and then and then everything kind of like happened. It was just like so many things happening, at once.
They put themselves in a corner, right? And this happened early on, and we all didn't realize it then. We go back and realize it now. When Cody fought Chris Jericho and he lost, and he could never challenge ever for the AEW World Title, it boxed Cody in to a situation by which he could only get the TNT title or just run off feuds. And so it boxed them in. And then when he left and became the star, like you said, the bloodline was reigning supreme. It worked right into that storyline of that situation. Like you said, they always take their foot off the gas when they're hot. I will tell you, I was at Forbidden Door in London this past August. I saw, I was there live, and 19,000 people singing Edge's or Adam Copeland's song and singing Will Ospreay's music and all the great things. And then you get to Wednesday night and they don't follow up well. They have never been a place to follow up well, and they've always been a place that gives you the best matches 3 years ago, right? So every 3 years ago, you got these best matches, and you guys, we're all probably like, oh my God, Penta versus blah. And you're like, yes. But now it's so to the norm, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think, they definitely, I don't know, like my big thing with kind of taking the foot off, like I thought Hangman, him beating Moxley, that pay-per-view was amazing. And then like the following Dynamite, I personally just didn't like that. Like, let's do a Hangman and Moxley match again. It's just like, well, you don't need to do that again. Like that was a perfect finish to that story.
Wasn't the guy in a fucking, doesn't he lit on fire?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
fire on Sunday. And he showed up on Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, it's just like, and I was just like, it was a good story with them. And it's just like, you built it for a while. Like, you don't need to have this like weird thing where it's just like they face each other a couple more times, and they did a mixed tag. Like after that, it's just like it's not, not necessary. But
I think they're hurting to not have Will Ospreay and Swerve. To not have Will Ospreay and Swerve right now, I think it's very detrimental to them.
Yeah, I think they've been doing well for not having both of them. Better than I thought that. As far as like the main event picture, and I think like Samoa Joe, like he can always jump into that spot. So that's like, he's a great dude to have on that roster when he's,
and that microphone skill is unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's very like monotone. It's very Jake the Snake-esque.
Yeah, definitely. He's great, man. He's just like such a smorgasbord of just like so many different wrestlers, and just that I've liked over time from all different eras too. Because he's got that like old school like 80s, 90s feel to him too, and and if you met him on the outside, he seems like the nicest guy in the world. But like, if you're younger or something, you'd be kind of scared of Samoa Joe, especially when he's heel. Especially when he's healed, Joe.
Or you see him in Twisted Metal.
Yeah, too. He's a psychopath in that.
They do a very good job. I think AEW does a very good job. That's the only thing they do well. I think really well is they promote the outside projects a lot, like really well.
MJF's gone right now. Copeland's gone. They're all doing stuff.
Yeah, that's why it's tough, dude. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like right now, like they're doing well for just like I mean, really top guys, Hangman, Moxley. You can put Samoa Joe in that, but like he's not going to win the title. He's not going to, kind of run the show moving forward. He had that run with, being the TV champ of the world and winning the title too. But yeah, so I mean, I'll definitely say like them getting through this, but the card isn't blowing me away yet for this weekend. There's some matches, and because like for me as like a fan, I don't know how you view like when I get excited for like any type of event when I look at the card and I'm just like I don't know who's gonna win this. Like I don't know who's gonna win half of these matches. Like there's so many ways you can go because the storylines that built up to it, kind of leaves you in like I'm not sure, and it makes it more of a thriller and just like yeah, and I don't know. That's what was like sucking about like towards the end of Vince era. Is just like there'd be a pay per view and you'd look at it like yeah, okay, we know how this goes, because
Well,
like there was no, there's nothing thrown.
you know what's crazy though, but now we're looking at it like, unless you have the ESPN app, like that big app, I
Yeah,
am consciously looking at it, going like, do I need to watch this? I didn't see WrestlePalooza. I saw it on X later.
Yeah.
Mainly
Yeah.
it was because I ordered the AEW pay per view. Let's be clear, but
Yeah.
but like, right? Let's be clear, but you don't know, right? Like, and so this time around, like the fact that Full Gear's in Newark, I've been in every Full Gear that there's been in Newark, but I'm gonna not make that decision until that day. And right now, being in GCW all day, I'm leaning towards not going.
That's a long
Right?
day.
It's
Yeah, it's a long
I did it
fucking
last
day.
year.
Yeah.
I did it last year. It was a very long day. But there was a lot of things I wanted to see on that card. And if you go back in that card, you had Will, you had Swerve, you had MJF
Yeah.
on it. And on this one, if I want to watch it, I'll watch it at home maybe because I'll see a steel cage match better at home than I will there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, that's definitely where it'll lead to for AEW is like MJF when he's going to be coming back. And I think that's who obviously will beat Hangman for the title when this reign ends. And yeah, just seeing if MJF, still, because the last run MJF, I wasn't really like a fan of it. They didn't really know what to do with him really, like leading up to, even before they like did some stuff with Hangman, like leading up to it, they're just kind of like, the Briscoe thing was cool, but that could only last so long as well. So I feel like he's lost a little bit of his luster for when he does come back. So he's such a creative guy that like I know he can kind of fight through that and stuff. But
give that man the mic and let him cook.
yeah, and let him have his creative control and do his thing because he's the make or break guy for that company. People like we were saying, talk CM Punk, everyone else, like, there's obviously Hangman, Kenny, Ospreay, Swerve, all these great people, but like at the end of the day, like MJF is the make or break guy because there's no other superstar that switches WWE fans like MJF has over to AEW to decide to watch it because he is, he can do either or as far as promos and character.
He will be
Yeah.
WWE bound at some point when he's able to curtail his mouth a little bit because they're going to rein that in real quick. But like in my imagination, again, I don't like the fantasy book. I'm just not that person. But I could totally see a moment where Cody Rhodes on a Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, after just beating somebody, and that music hits, and the place goes nuts. And he shuts the whole place down, and he gets into his heel character, and it's over. And the next show is MJF versus Cody Rhodes. Like it's prime to happen.
Yeah, and with wrestlers, it's like it's kind of crazy how a lot of stuff happens too because it's like timing as well. It's like when their contracts are ending, what's the landscape of wrestling look like that? Like sometimes like MJF, if things looked a little different, WWE, I think when his last contract was up, you probably would have considered it more. But because you look at like what's the top of the card looking like, it's filled up. Like what is my spot going to be? What am I going to go into? But yeah, I think it's at a point where like if he's able to go there before Punk leaves too, and he's able to do kind of put the cherry on top of that whole.
Look what you did. You came back. You son of a bitch, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah, like it's just like
Oh,
completely just it's just all there.
when
And
MJF leaves, when MJF leaves, that will be as big of a hit for them. It's Cody.
yeah, I think so. I definitely think so because he's the mouth of the place for sure. Cody was, I'd say, the heart at starting out, but I think Jericho leaving too, like because he's definitely WWE bound, Royal Rumble bound, which he's always been very honest about from the very start. I remember him doing that initial interview with Chris Van Fleet in like the back of a limo, like when they first did the AEW thing, and he said, "Yeah, I don't know, like one day, like I don't count it out, like I wouldn't mind ending my career at WWE, so like, and he's always been very open about that, so
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like again, like you don't want
yeah,
to count it out. And people got mad when Adam Copeland left and stuff. And WWE was very upfront with him, saying there's no creative for you. So if you want to still wrestle, go wrestle. And he did. Brian Danielson. I don't see Brian Danielson coming back at this point ever.
yeah,
Brian Danielson's
I
not
don't,
that person. I don't see it. I don't think he
yeah,
cares.
yeah,
And so, but I think Chris going back uh, makes sense. I envision a situation where Chris comes back at the Rumble and he is the 2027 Hall of Fame, not this one.
Yeah.
yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, live from Saudi. I'll have the
Saudi.
yeah. That's got to be a badass Hall of Fame class too, I'm sure. And yeah, and Jericho, he goes with all that because they're watching Ruthless Aggression and older wrestling, and he's one of those guys. So, so for me, the Saudi stuff, like I do enjoy their bringing back Attitude Era Ruthless Aggression guys. So that's how I've benefited from this.
You gotta
This
feel bad for
partnership.
of all people. Feel bad for Batista
Yeah.
because like Cena's gonna headline. I would imagine Cena headlines this year, like this upcoming one. Like Batista was supposed to headline Los Angeles, he didn't.
Yeah, Batista now it'd be hard for Batista because he's into that whole deep acting thing where he got rid of his muscles, but he could throw. I mean, he could get it back. I don't think he would probably be excited to go back into the weight room like that. But yeah. But anyway, this has been awesome. What do we kind of get to? What are you looking at moving forward? Like what are some? I know we talked about all our shows.
I'm on hiatus until January, which is good. I think.
Yeah.
I hope. I hope. All right. It's crazy. I'll even this for a little bit. And I'm like, I need a break. I just need a break for the weekend. But I'll be there Gremlin House, January 10th, January 11th. And then, one's in Gloucester City, the other one's in Ridgefield Park. And I'll be there doing stuff with I'm bringing in some new talent, which will be good. People that people know. And you guys have to come see them. But I'm doing that, and I'll continue the storyline with Titan for as long as the storyline goes. It's only in the third inning, if you will, of the storytelling, and so we're gonna do that, and I'll pop up where I'm needed. I don't go out of my way to do too much, or else I'll be divorced. But I try to do enough to just have a little bit of fun. I don't take myself too seriously. That could be a detriment. I don't really care. But yeah, I'm gonna be popping up there and doing some things, and I don't think I'm gonna be getting my ass kicked this time around. I'll make sure of it this time. Maybe I'll stay a little bit behind people in front. Yeah. I decided when I was like, oh, I'll take Sandman on myself. I'll be the first one. Yeah. I learned my lesson real quick. It hurt a little bit, stung a little bit. But this time around, I think I'm kind of going to be behind a little bit. And I don't think that I can ruffle the Gloucester City crowd because they know they're garbage.
Yeah.
Right? Gloucester City
I agree.
Shithole.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I agree.
so they know that's not a surprise at all. And I think that the Mecca's the Mecca. The Mecca needs Hollywood Sean Gold there in all his prim and properness. It's kind of like one of those things. I say Jesus needed the Vatican, right? There was no other place to put Jesus but the Vatican, right? The pillar. And so the Mecca, right? The Vatican, the St. Paul's Cathedral of professional wrestling in New Jersey is the Mecca. And what's crazy is it's just a piece of shit Knights of Columbus. Right.
Yeah,
Let's keep it here. It's just a piece of
that's
you have good
that's
economics.
Jersey wrestling.
Right. But to have Hollywood Sean Gold at the Mecca in all of his glory, let's go.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about the Patriots this year? You
Bro.
think? You think?
No, here's the deal, right? So I'm very optimistic. I'm not very optimistic of how they're doing right now. I was very optimistic just about Vrabel in general. I think that I'll be the first person to say this, and I said this on a podcast on Saturday in the morning. Somebody asked about the Patriots, and I said, I'm very happy where we are. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we're not the 1 seed in the AFC, but we haven't played anybody, right? So, like Tampa was a good bar. I expect us to lose to Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I really don't expect us to lose much more than that.
Yeah.
And if for somehow, some way, Kansas City does get in the playoffs and they play us, we'll lose. But I'm very happy, right? I think that it sucks that we're not going to get a good draft pick this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I haven't been this excited about them since TB, right?
Yeah.
I got really excited about them the year after TB left, and Cam Newton was doing his thing that first game. I was like, "We about to win a lot. We about to win," and that was not happening. And then I've just done this dismal spiral ever since.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, Cam's been one talking shit too, and
he
said they're fool's gold. But
as a Jets fan, it's upsetting to see how much they've came back so quick.
As a Jets fan, you should be very upset over internal process.
Yeah.
And you should be upset that you're probably stuck with this coach in their season. But I think, with the Patriots, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, but they're way ahead of schedule. As far as what anyone would expect. Yeah.
If they can win a wild card game, here's the thing. If they can do me a favor, because I'm going to be in Florida, and I don't think I'm going to be glued to a TV, if they can potentially do me a favor and get a bye and not play until the 21st, that would be much better because I'll be at my Florida house then and be focused and not in Disney messing around too much. That'd be great. I will say that all three teams, AFC 1, 2, and 3, are not good teams. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Patriots are good. They're not great teams. Indy is good. The Broncos are good and the Patriots are good, but they're not great. And so I think any of those three teams can get knocked out by a team below that with experience.
Yeah. And the Chiefs always grind in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
And
the Chiefs season is just starting.
I know.
And you can tell that they're revving the engine.
They're ready. If you look at their schedule, if you bring up their schedule, they play Denver again. Every one of their other games, they're winnable games for them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're talking about them being 11-6 or 12-5. They sneak in as the 5 seed or the 6 seed, and all hell is going to break loose.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Same thing about the Eagles. I'm not an Eagles fan, and people are worried about the Eagles, and I'm I guarantee you, when all comes said and done, they will be at minimum in the NFC Championship game because it's about experience at this point.
Yeah. People, the Ravens can make it in too. Their schedule.
Hey, the Ravens, what a
easy.
dangerous team this team is right now.
Yeah, you're gonna have some dangerous wild card teams in the AFC for sure.
Yeah, I mean, those wild card teams could be Bills, Ravens, Chiefs.
It'd be insane. It'd be insane. Yeah,
Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, all 3 knockout top seeds.
Yep.
It's going to be a fun playoffs, I think. So I mean, there's no clear outliers, I think, this year.
Yeah, because even the really good teams, they've been having some random weird losses.
It's a scheduling thing.
Yeah.
It's a scheduling thing, right? The Patriots are as good as they are because they were as bad as they were, and they happen to get hot at the right time. There's no thought process that Drake May isn't a great quarterback. He is.
Yeah,
and he's doing it with subpar talent around him.
Yeah.
Very much Tom Brady-esque, right? who like nobody knew Keishawn Booty was.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
came out of
nobody knows who
nowhere.
Mario Douglas
Edmund
is.
Douglas, yeah, and you got a veteran Diggs who obviously isn't who he
Like, and
once
Diggs is doing
was.
his
You know,
thing, right? And
Matt Collins though looking pretty good. He's been
look at him.
I know.
right. He's a journeyman. You know,
Yeah,
I love seeing those like 8-year wide receivers that have never had more than 600 receiving yards in a season still doing their thing and having
we have
random
the worst
spurts.
backfield ever.
Yeah, Henderson's been heating up though. At it,
Yeah, the rookie, right?
starting
Yeah,
to click a little
I
bit.
like
Yeah,
him.
it's starting to click a little bit. Yeah, so
They're giving him
he's been.
reps finally. Yeah. But
Yeah,
Stevenson's been out, so
yeah,
but we'll
yeah.
see.
We'll see. I know I'm a Giants fan, so I don't have any,
Yeah,
So
you
my
skin in the game
boss,
playoff wise.
so my boss is the one that broke the story. My boss is the one that broke the Dable should have been fired in Denver story.
Yeah.
Her name is Nikki. She's been on the Fan a few times, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
She was the one. She was the one that was like that girl from Long Island. That's what they were saying. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not from Long Island. She's from Red Bank, New Jersey. But she was the one who broke it, and she gets really pissed off because they're just as bad as they are. They're fucking garbage. Like,
Yeah.
they're a firestorm. And I love Jameis Winston. I love him.
Yeah. I was happy. That was like a reason. I was actually enjoying seeing him start last weekend. I need something to,
Got great personality.
Yeah. The Giants, like, I don't know.
You guys can take Tommy DeVito back if you want him. I don't know why he's on our team.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a good luck charm. I think he's a good locker room guy. Bringing in his mom's Italian food. Everyone's having a good time.
We don't need that. We go in the south end of Boston, baby. We get that.
Yeah. But well, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, man.
Excited to see you. We're going to be sponsoring one of those 2 shows in January. I think we're just figuring out which one, and so we'll see you in the flesh as well then. And
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I will. I'll see you then, and hopefully I don't get beat up.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited for that, and that's been another episode of Invasion Angle.
Thanks, guys.
Invasion Angle.
Bet you love that sweet ass podcast. I am John Cena and I approve this message.